Up next here on NEC Women's Basketball on the Run, it is time for our Commitment to Success Spotlight, brought to you by Provident Bank. Commitment you can count on. Joining us today from the Stonehill Skyhawks, junior guard Brooke Paquette. Brooke, welcome to the Spotlight.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's absolutely great to talk with you again. Let's catch up on where the team is right now. Stonehill 4-6 in conference play, 2 games out of a top 4 spot in the league standings. So, what's your assessment of where the team is? As you've gone through now, the first half of conference play, entering the first weekend of February. What's kind of your gauge, your assessment of where the team is right now?
I think the team's in a good place. I think, coming off of our game on Saturday against Lemoyne, it was a good win for us. So I think that definitely brought the morale up a little bit. So it just makes us ready for this week. And, we know we have 2 tough opponents, but we are prepared and ready to bring everything we have this week.
Yeah, we'll look ahead to those games coming up a little later on. Now, we talked to you kind of back in October for our Media Week interview with Coach, and one of the things that I was thinking, following that conversation was, now you're a junior, but you're also the leader now. You're one of the veteran leaders on the team. So how do you kind of balance, after some of the talent that you lost last year, kind of wanting to lead and put the team on your back versus not overdoing it and trying to do too much? How do you kind of create that balance?
Well, I think I have a great, leadership team supporting me as well. Molly Lynch, she's been a great leader. She's a captain this year along with Bella, with me. But I think a lot of people on the team have stepped up in the leadership role, which makes my job easier. But I learned a lot from last year from Sharon Hayward, her being a leader. She was really my role model last year. But I think having a team where so many people have stepped up, especially Bree Delaney as well, I think it's make my job easier and everyone's kind of listening to each other and putting each other on their backs, which is really helpful.
That's awesome to hear that, off the court, because on the court, like you kind of alluded to, we've seen a lot of players stepping up this year. You were the most improved player last year, but this year you got like a whole team of most improved, bigger roles. Julia Webster, Bella Mallory, Brianna Delaney, Fiona Dodson as well. Even, Ella coming in as a freshman has been elevated into a bigger role. So how exciting is it for you to kind of, see all these other players, all this other talent around you kind of stepping up and elevating their game?
It's great, especially like you said, the younger people like Ella, Julia, as freshmen, sophomores. It's just makes me excited, not for the rest of the season, but also for next year as well, to see how they'll continue to progress and grow. And it just makes me excited.
Now, we know coming into this week, one of the things that we've been following, 930 career points for you, 70 shy of 1,000. Selfishly, we'd love to call the 1,000th point on Saturday on ESPN Plus, but that means you need 50 or 60 points on Thursday, which I'm sure that would be great if you could do that. But whenever it comes, what would it mean to you to kind of reach that milestone of 1,000 points?
I mean, I would have never gotten to that point without my teammates getting me the ball and, rebounding, making the extra hustle play. So, it's my stat, but it goes to my teammates. So I'm just excited to share the goal with my teammates and my team.
I want to talk about Coach Brown a little bit. She's been at Stonehill for a quarter century, tons of experience, tons of success. So kind of take us behind the scenes a little bit. What is the player-coach relationship like that you kind of have with her, especially since you're one of the veteran guards? What's kind of your relationship like?
I have a great relationship with Coach, especially, being the point guard and having the role that I've had the past 3 years. I think it's important that we do have that strong relationship and connection and communication on and off the court. So I think she's made a great effort, and vice versa. I feel like I've made the same effort to push to get the connection where it is right now, and I'm looking forward to continue to growing throughout the next year.
What are some of the ways where she kind of pushes you to kind of take your game to the next level?
Well, she's always pushing me, especially on the defensive end. I know that she loves the
She talked
defense,
about
and
that back in October. Yeah.
yeah. So I think especially defensively is a way that she always is pushing and always looking for every single person to get better. But, offensively, especially being the point guard, like I said, just being clear with my communication with my teammates and, calling plays, make sure my teammates know the plays, and really being the leader that she wants me to be.
So let's kind of go back a little bit and talk about your background. How was it? When was it that you kind of fell in love with the game of basketball and you knew that this was the sport for you?
Oh gosh, as far as that back as I can remember, playing rec ball and just playing, for my town and for AU and everything. I think, I was also playing soccer, but came high school, I had to make the decision which one I wanted to pick, and it was an easy decision for me playing basketball. I had my dad as my coach for the longest time, which has its ups and downs, but I think it made me love the game even more, just having him in my corner.
So how did you kind of find Stonehill and know that this was the perfect fit for you?
As soon as I basically stepped on campus and got in contact with the coaches, I came to some of their summer league games and everything. They held tournament here, and just talking with when Coach Kara was the assistant coach, and with Coach Brown, and immediately just felt the home environment and the home community, and how they run their campus and how they run their team. It was I just fell in love immediately.
And I'm sure not too far from home, so I'm sure family, friends are there to support you all the time for all the home games there.
Oh yeah. Oh, my parents come to every single game, even the ones, in New Jersey, they try to make it to New York. And then my past teammates, former teammates, my friends, lots of my family tries to come, which is really awesome. And everyone's watching. I have family in Florida. They turn on the live stream every single time. So it's great having them in my corner, and they're always texting me after the games and everything. So it's so special to have them in my corner.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, we mentioned we're into February, big stretch of the season, but it was last year this time, last February, when you averaged 17 points per game from February 1st through the end of the season. You really turned it up during this stretch. So now that we're in February, is February Brooke back, or are we ready for another big stretch run here this final month?
Of course, I'm always trying to bring it for my team. So in any way that I can, points, rebounds, assists, any way I can help my team, I'm looking forward to doing my best.
So we know it's a big weekend coming up at home. The rematch with FDU. You just saw them last week, and then the ESPN Plus exclusive broadcast that we'll have Saturday at 1 p.m. against LIU. So the top two teams in the league are coming to your house this weekend. So first, let's start with FDU. What did you learn from that first game that you just played last week that maybe you can now apply or alter or change here in the rematch?
For sure. Definitely our defense. I think we struggled a little bit defensively, but the past few days in practice and watching film and everything, we've made the adjustments, and we're ready for them to come to our house this time.
And then for LIU, again, we're looking forward to that on ESPN Plus on Saturday. What might be a key or two, for Stonehill to have a successful turnaround here in the second meeting with the Sharks?
I think we just need to take care of the ball, do the little things, taking care of the ball, rebounding. It's little things that win big games. So we're also going to look to do that.
Awesome. Okay, so now we've reached the final five questions. These are quick hitters. So first thing that comes to your mind, you're an expert at dishing things out, so just dish out those answers. All right.
All right.
All right. Favorite color?
Purple.
Awesome choice.
Yeah.
Favorite snack or junk food?
Gotta go with ice cream.
Okay. Favorite karaoke song?
Probably Party in the USA by Miley Cyrus. That's a classic one.
Ooh, I could do that one too. Okay. Super Bowl 60, Seahawks or Patriots?
Patriots.
Of course. And then last question, what is the key for Stonehill to win it all and be cutting down the nets in 2026 come March?
We just have to keep doing what we're doing and play as a team, and keep our team chemistry where it is, and play basketball. So that's what we're looking forward to doing.
Yeah, we're definitely looking forward to it. February, Brooke is back, and so are the Skyhawks. You can catch them Thursday night, 6 p.m. They're taking on FDU on NEC Front Row. And then Saturday afternoon, 1 p.m. on ESPN Plus against the LIU Sharks. Brooke, thank you so much for joining us, and best of luck to you and the team the rest of the way.
Thank you so much.
Don't forget, you can check out this full episode of the NEC Women's Basketball on the Run podcast. It's available now wherever you get your podcasts. And this has been the Commitment to Success Spotlight. It's brought to you by Provident Bank. Commitment you could count on.